The Muslims, they want to take over. I normally say this, and they come up very fast. The Muslims, they have put their strategic plans together and everything for takeover. That's why they have taken over the economy.
According to Ndura Waringe, the country is heading towards a significant crisis that will unfold by early 2025. He warns that by the first quarter of 2025, Kenya will experience a complete breakdown. The pressure will be strong as we move into January and February, and so many things will happen. So many people will fall, many will be buried, and chaos will take over. Waringe states during an interview with Plank TV.
Pressure will be so strong as we get to January to February. And in the first quarter of 2025, so many things will happen. So many things, so many people will go down. So many people will be buried. So many people will be disorganized. This government will be like stopped. The engine will stop working, will cease automatically. Tukifika mwezi wa pili wa tatu hivyo, crisis will be after one crisis, and that is the
Waringe foresees a time when the current government will cease functioning, likening it into the engine that stops running. He predicts a series of cascading crises that will affect the country's leadership, suggesting that the Kenyan military might intervene to help restore order. His assertion has sparked significant discussion, as many question what role the military could play in the country's governance.
After one crisis, and that is the time our Kenyan military people, personnel, our brothers and sisters will give a hand to help us from virtual breakdown.
The military might give a hand.
Yeah, of course, as things they are, the Kenyan military will not just look at Kenya disintegrating. Our brothers will rise up to the occasion. And kuna possibility kubwa seeing the military. Unaona kama stadium saizi zinajengwa na nani? Stadium zote zinajengwa na military. Infrastructure ya Kenya inajengwa na military. Hata kichinjio ya ilikuwa imeanguka. Si ilikuwa imeanguka?
Yeah.
Ile ya huko
River.
Ilikuwa imeanguka. Who came in? The military came in. Ukiangalia magari zote za serikali zilikuwa zimekwama. Military came in. They rectified the vehicles. Walipata kaboroti kamoja kanafanya gari i-auctioniwe at a throwaway price. They discovered so many things. Our brothers in the military, they are from heaven. Yes. They will act transit. They might act transit from here to there. God might use them. If things goes the way they are going, God might use them. And it will be very appropriate.
Would it be a military takeover?
That's why I say, kama wakati walichukua airports zote, the migration, see, it was a military takeover.
But unajua ukisema, okay.
No, this is in the plan of the military. I know you don't know this. This has been in the plan of the military to take over Kenya. Kenya to be run by the military. It has been working. And this was implemented since the days of Kibaki. It has been coming up. Remember, there's a time the military men were told to go and retire. And they retired. Then they were told to go and apply government jobs. If you look at all government leadership, all government institutions that matter, the akina Kahawalange, the kwa vitambulisho na port, military man. When kila mahali unaona kuna government power is military people. When hiyo adhiriva military, ujenzi infrastructure military. Wamefungua TV yao, wamefungua radio yao.
Actually today, I have noticed they have even opened a mall inside the military base, I think in Utawala.
Yes. The military started taking over since the days of Kibaki. And that is part of the system. It's part of the government systems that are made by people who run the country, that Kenya will be no longer be operated by the politician, but the military.
But Apostle,
He also sheds light on deeper geopolitical issues at play. According to Waringe, international powers have been focusing heavily on Kenya due to its strategic importance, especially regarding global conflicts. He mentioned that the presence of top CIA and MI5 officials in Kenya claiming that the country is becoming a vital point in the unfolding geopolitical dynamics, with the military bases being established by foreign powers, including the United States. He even goes as far as he describes Kenya as a portal, either a demonic portal or godly portal, depending on who controls it, with implication for global powers.
Before Gachagua was removed, the top CIA man was in Kenya, the top MI15 was in Kenya, the top Mossad man was in Kenya. Why? There is another thing of safeguarding ground. Kenya's a ground in the case of a possibility of a third world war, which is part of the one world order. Whatever that is happening in Israel and many other, Syria, what's happening in Iran, what's happening in other countries, this is a thing that is coming together, a formation of a possible world war. And Kenya is regarded as a vital point for them to operate from. So what's happening is that they wanted to create a base. That is why you see Uko Garissa.
Yeah.
An air base.
Yeah.
Imefunguliwa. That is not a Kenyan air base. That's an American air base. Imefunguliwa. In case kutatokea vita, they operate from there.
In the world.
Kenya is a portal. Can be a demonic portal or a godly portal, according who wins the battle. A portal can be operated in either way. Kenya can be operated by the demonic forces easily, and Kenya can be operated by godly forces easily. Whoever wins in the battle of altars controls Kenya.
Where?
So whatever is happening right now is the battle of altars.
Taps into the spiritual and political power struggle in Kenya. He claims that for various groups, including Muslims and traditionalist communities, are vying for control. With the spiritual altars being raised in the country, he believes that the future of Kenya lies in who can dominate these spiritual and political realms, suggesting that the fate of the country is being shaped by unseen forces. He further claims that the Muslims, through coordinated efforts, are positioning themselves to control Kenya, which he hunches has seen a shift in power dynamics. The economy, he believes, has largely foreign and Muslim influence. This vision of Kenya as a country at the crossroads of spiritual and political forces comes at a time when significant changes are predicted.
The Muslims, they want to take over. I normally say this, and they come up very fast. The Muslims, they have put their strategic plans together and everything for takeover. That's why they have taken over the economy. They have taken over whatever they've taken over. You see, the other day, I don't know what was happening in Isili, and they raised the Somali flag and they said Isili is not Kenya.
Yeah, it was during the demonstration time.
Yeah, you see, they have a belief that Kenya does not belong to Kikuyus, that doesn't belong to Luos, that doesn't belong to Luyas. Kenya belongs to them. And the only person supposed to benefit from Kenya, you must be a Muslim. That's why they are pushing for everybody to become a Muslim. That is part of the Abuja Declaration. They are pushing and pushing things to work the way they want them to work. Number two, that's number one. Number two, we have the traditionalists, the Kikuyus, the Luos, the Kalenjins. They are coming together. You saw the other day at Holy Family Basilica. Mukamba was also put into Gema. That is bigger picture of what I'm telling you about the altars. They are also raising an altar in Mount Kenya so that they can be able to possess the altar of this country. That's the Kikuyu, the Gema, that's a Gema community. They are also doing it, which is also rattling the Mzungus who are also in focus of that altar of Mount Kenya. And the Freemasons they are also on it. They are doing it strongly, sound, and perfectly well. So this is a country that is being scrambled for. That every other nation want to have a portion of this country because of the next dispensation of rulership in the world. Because now we are moving as of the end of December 31st, as we get into New Year, the portal now has opened up. The portal opens up between the first day of December and up until the 31st day or 30th day of January. Those are 2 months of portal opening. So when the portal is already opened, anybody can do anything. The demonic world can be able to capture, the Christian world can be able to capture, the Muslim world can be able to capture, and you can see right now ndio tuko na a lot of reorganizations za vitu na nini. That's from the spiritual angle. Now,
additionally, Waringe discusses Kenya's leadership, particularly President William Ruto's strategy. He suggests that Ruto is focused on solidifying support from the Kikuyu community, who he believes hold the key to political power in the country. However, Waringe warns that if Ruto's policies fail, his government could face serious resistance, especially from the Kikuyu, who may feel increasingly alienated.
What Ruto is trying to do is trying to gamble and return Kikuyus. He would rather lose the Luos, but not lose the Kikuyus. Kikuyus are the people that have the muscle,
the manpower.
The manpower.
Yeah.
They have the number and they have the manpower. They can be able to mobilize, they can be able to control. You can see of late there has been this story at Nairobi, Nahamisho, in Ndura Nakuru.
Yeah.
It is a theory, they are testing water. Remember the other day again, Cherargei had brought a motion of extending the term of the president. Because that one, it was like people came up against it, so they stopped it, but they implemented it. It's being implemented. Right now as you're talking, it's being implemented. What Cherargei was saying is being worked on. How? They will make sure that by the end of this year or in the middle of this year, there will be no commission, the IEBC commission. And the constitution said that according to Kligra, walisema at least an election body must be in office 2 years. How many years are we remaining with after now we get January? It will be 2 years.
Yeah.
So the formation of another commission will be around June, meaning the 2 years threshold will not be met, and it is in the constitution. Therefore, what they will say, they will extend the leadership of Ruto for the team to get settled. Has Cherargei thing worked? That is why he needs Uhuru on board. That's why he needs Raila on board, so that they can be able to push it ahead without many noises. And that's why they have said now, they have brought this bill that was signed by the president, that whoever will interfere,
10 million fines or 10 years.
10 million fine, that's in preparation of what they have laid down. In any case, what I'm saying, Ruto is not prepared for an election any soon. Ruto is prepared for a suppression and an intimidation to make sure there will be no election. He will cause handles that even we will see we need an extension. Are you getting me? That is why now why he needs these people on board on a political angle. He is speaking on a Kafogo because he thinks Kafogo is a kingmaker. He is speaking on Lee because he believes Lee is also a kingmaker. He is speaking on Uhuru because he thinks Uhuru is a kingmaker. Of course, Uhuru became, when the blood was shed, as I told you, he came up. After the blood of Gen Z, Uhuru became so popular all of a sudden because of that blood. But now, as from this week going on, the Uhuru will be most unpopular person in the Kikuyu land.
As the political landscape shifts, Waringe predicts the possibility of military intervention. He claims that Kenya's military has been preparing for such a moment for years and might soon step in, much like the intervention seen under former President Kenyatta's leadership, when the military played a major role in stabilizing the country. According to Waringe, the military might take control to restore order, possibly suspending the constitution in the process, as it may no longer align with Kenyan spiritual and national needs.
God is reshaping, reorganizing, redoing, and doing everything to make sure Kenya has a new dispensation, a new plan, a new structure, where now we will have a kings to rule Kenya. Kings, not presidents, kings to rule Kenya. Yes.
Now, Apostle
Waringe's statements paint a grim picture of Kenya's political and spiritual future. His message is clear. Unless immediate steps are taken to address the mounting pressures, Kenya could face a period of unprecedented crisis by 2025. The heating will stop, he says, and that's when the military will step in. This interview conducted by Plan TV raises serious questions about the future of the country, the political, spiritual, and military dynamics outlined by Waringe suggests a time of immense change, where nothing can be taken for granted. It is crucial for Kenyans to consider these predictions carefully as they approach the coming years. This is Stephen, GC News.